You're listening to Something Cheeky, a collection of podcasts where two sisters discuss TV, books, and movies with just enough irreverence and far too many pop culture references. Welcome to Something Cheeky, the Gentleman Bastards edition, where we discuss the Lies of Locke Lamora, book 1 of the series by Scott Lynch. I'm Nikki.
I'm Rosanna.
While I've read the entire series, Rosanna has only read up to what we're covering today, which is Chapter 9, A Curious Tale for Countess Amberglass. In this chapter, the spider starts to spin a web to catch a very thorny fly. Rosanna, what was your reaction to this chapter?
I had mixed reactions with this
Did
chapter.
you miss all of our Gentleman Bastards?
I really did. I really missed all the guys, and I missed seeing their progress.
Oh, yeah.
And where they were at with everything. However, I think that we got a good enough reveal that it was still a productive chapter, but it wasn't very long, and neither was the interlude.
Right.
So
it was a big reveal.
It was a really big reveal. And I wish that somebody else had been there to also have a reaction to it. But, you know, I liked having two female characters having a discussion.
This is the first time this book has passed the Bechdel Test.
And they had...
Actually, they were talking about a man, though.
They were talking about a man, but it was more like they were talking about...
a robbery.
A problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
I'll accept it.
And I like that they were both women that had power. I missed the guys, but I liked having the girls.
I liked that it made me see the Dona Sophia as much more intelligent and understanding of what was going on than we had seen before. We got hints of that.
Right.
But it seemed like she had far better understanding of what was happening than her husband even.
Well, and I think what she did is she took what he told her about what happened, and then she thought about it for a while and thought, there's more to it.
Yeah.
That's suspicious.
Yeah. This was the first time we heard either of the Salvaras say anything about the Midnighters not being potentially actual Midnighters. The Dawn seemed to completely believe that and never doubt it in the first place.
Yeah.
But she did doubt it.
And I wonder if he does doubt it too, if they talked about it, or if she just is secretly doubting it and wants to talk to somebody else before she brings it up to him because she's worried about him getting mad at her questioning him.
Either way, it's raining.
Uh-huh. Welcome to the Oregon coast.
Yeah, listeners, if you hear a little pitter-patter, we are recording together for one of the very few times we get to do that because we live 200 miles apart. And we are vacationing with our families on the Oregon coast. And it is, of course, it's raining, as it always is here.
As it does, yes. Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful and wonderful, even if it's overcast.
And the ocean is so cold. Oh, but the Donna, I feel like no matter what we believe about her, she is definitely smarter than her husband.
Yes. Maybe more cautious.
And discerning.
Yeah.
All right. What was your favorite quote this time?
So I picked a silly quote.
Okay.
As I have a tendency to do. But I really liked, is it Lady Vorchenza? What?
Dona.
Is it Dona Vorchenza?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're finishing their tea. And she says, "Now we shall see if it continues to glow when it comes out the other side." And I thought, they're having this serious discussion. And one of them's worried about, like, her life. And this other one's like, I wonder if our pee will glow. And she reminds me of Lady Tyrell from Game of Thrones, the older grandmother, Marjorie's grandmother.
What do they call her? It's something about a thorn, too.
Yeah, her name is Olenna Tyrell, and she's Queen.
I think it is.
Is it Queen of Thorns? Something like that. So she's powerful and cunning, I think, kind of smart, like this character, too. But also, she has these lines where it's like just wit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just funny. And
I could see her playing this.
When they were describing her, that's what I was picturing in my head, is Lady Tyrell.
That's pretty good casting.
Yeah.
She was Emma Peel in The Avengers. The skin-tight outfits and just gorgeous. Back in her younger years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was thinking, when I read this chapter, I was picturing her as either Helen Mirren. Because she's got the sleek,
she's the best.
She's just very posh.
Yes.
Or, if we wanted to go with the wittier, more funny side, I was picturing Maggie Smith.
Love Maggie Smith.
Yes.
Maggie Smith and Helen Mirren are the people that I want to be when I'm old.
Yes.
Helen Mirren is so pretty.
She is.
Even at this age.
I don't even know how old she is.
She's gotta be 70s, right? or
Seems
close
like
to
it.
And she's beautiful.
She looks amazing.
Yeah, she really does.
Yeah, and Maggie Smith doesn't have the kind of svelte look, but she's just so cutting.
Yes.
Oh, her in Downton Abbey is amazing.
Yes. And when she was filming Harry Potter, she was going through cancer treatments.
I didn't know that.
During, I can't remember if it was Deathly Hallows or if it was Half-Blood Prince. But there's a picture of her online where she's dressed up as McGonagall and she's sitting in a wheelchair just between scenes or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's because she was during treatment and she couldn't film for a long time. She had to take rests. And she's reading a Daily Prophet. And it says something about Voldemort on the front of it. And it's, he who must not be named returns or something like that. She just kept filming. Even though she was having cancer treatment.
That's impressive.
So I think that has obviously had some effect on her looks, that she was very weak and kept working and everything. But it sure didn't take anything from her brain because she is on point. Amazing. I love her.
You know, it's weird. I can't even think of what I've even seen Helen Mirren in, and I just know that I love her.
Have you seen Red?
No, but I've seen the trailers for it.
Red is amazing. So John Malkovich is in it, and he's like this crazy paranoid kind of weirdo.
So he plays himself in every single movie.
And Bruce Willis is in it, and Morgan Freeman's in it, and Mary Louise Parker. She's the one from Weeds. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's in it. It's so good.
Oh, I thought with your quotes you would either use that one or use the one about how the Dona didn't want them to take the lights off before they ate it because they wanted to spit it over the side of the terrace like little girls. Oh. It was so cute.
She's a really good mix of old and young. I mean, she's old because she has power. And,
young at heart.
Yeah, and say and control. But then she also doesn't take herself too seriously.
Right.
Which I love. I also like the part when Donas Salvara was coming off of the ride up and she smiled at the people bringing her up and she said it was a good idea to keep them on her good side.
Yeah.
Because they were controlling this contraption. Which sounded... Oh, and it sounded so scary. Walking out on a clear sheet of glass.
All I pictured was the glass bridge at the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
Which I'm not interested in walking on.
I also am not interested in walking on that. Mm-hmm. Terrifying.
Yeah. I don't need vertigo.
They just sat on it.
It's a good thing they're so high up or people could look up their dresses.
And didn't the Dona Salvara say something about how she liked that the people below her looked so small?
When Sophia first gets there, she's just thinking about Elderglass and all that. Mm-hmm. And there was one mention of the Eldrin had built glass wonders for the men to claim. Engineers had crafted buildings of stone and wood in the Eldrin ruins to make the cities their own. Bondsmagi pretended to the powers that Eldrin must once have held. That made me wonder if I hadn't considered it before this chapter, the first time I read it, but I wonder if they imagined that the Eldrin built all the Elderglass structures with magic. I had just thought it was just a talent they have. They know how to deal with this specific material in a specific way to make it do this, but maybe it's actually magic they're using, and maybe the Bondsmagi are using that same version, like a really watered down version of magic, which then led me to the question, could a really, really powerful Bondsmage ever actually have an effect on Elderglass? Oh. Because right now they can't. There's nothing they can't even break it. So I wonder if anyone could ever
and that
have
makes
that power.
Me wonder if there's some sort of a mixing of the Eldrin and the current people. If somehow
interspecies.
Yeah, there was a cross and somehow magic came down the line, or if maybe Bondsmage longer ago used to be more powerful and it's gotten less powerful the further in time they've gotten away from the Eldrin.
Is there hereditary
something
traits? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Have diluted.
Yeah. Or maybe the Eldrin just beamed people up to their alien ships and
spaceships.
And those are the Bondsmages.
Could be.
The leftover.
Because they only gave them a little bit.
Yeah, just a touch. I just thought that could lead to so many really interesting things. Because we do think that they may have coexisted with humans. Because of the timeline before Jean had mentioned something about 1,000 years ago. And that could have just been hyperbole or a guess. But may have actually coexisted with humans.
And we don't really know anything about them.
Yeah.
Besides that they built everything. That's it.
But it makes me think that maybe they weren't these massive people or of some sort of alien
maybe they
race.
just had a lot of power.
Right. Which is a new idea for me for them.
And also, maybe they're not really alien at all. Maybe they just seemed like it, but these stories have been passed down.
Maybe they were just really incredibly powerful wizards that the Bondsmages came from.
Right. And since it doesn't seem like there's a ton of written history, maybe these stories have come down, and you know how it's turned into, the American version, a tall tale. Paul Bunyan was as tall as 3 houses. Not really, but if it just comes down in stories, then it might have built them up much bigger than they actually were. Maybe they had all the power, but maybe they weren't physically enormous. So maybe they're just regular people, but they were powerful. I mean, maybe they're human.
Maybe the magic that they had is a sort of lost art, the way that we've lost the recipe for Greek fire. That used to be this amazing thing that would burn and not ever, even water could catch on fire if it had it on there. Which I always think of wildfire from Game of Thrones. It was the same kind of idea. Tyrion threw it all over the water and it just burned and burned. But that's what we imagine Greek fire was. It's kind of like napalm. But it was just incredibly powerful. And so maybe that's one of those things we've lost. I also wonder if the alchemy has some touch of the magic that Bondsmages have, or maybe the Eldrin had as well. There's one thing in the Dresden Files books that is a piece of kind of magic, but anybody can do it. You don't have to be a wizard or have any sort of magical abilities. You can do a thing where you make a projective circle around yourself. You use chalk, and you can close it up with a piece of your blood and just your will, and that will protect you from magical creatures. Things like that, and ghosts and whatnot. But anybody can do it. You don't have to be a wizard to do it. So what if alchemy maybe has the same touch, where it's knowing the process, but you don't need magical ability to do it.
So
these are all big theories.
It's really more like science.
Right, yeah.
It's a formula more than magic.
Yeah.
Which...
it seems magical because
they don't understand it.
Right, and it's just a very mystical feeling.
And lots of stuff that we say is science now used to be thought of as magic.
There is some saying where it's something like, given enough time, magic is basically science. That's like backwards, I think. But like if you look back far enough, science is magic.
Oh, definitely.
So Dona Sofia Salvara has tea with Dona Angiavesta Vorchenza. Very complicated names with lots of vowels. The Elder Glass Terrace is 40 stories up, and it's surrounded by brass safety rails. But I don't understand how the safety rails are attached. They can't actually nail or screw anything into it.
Right.
So I don't know if they had to build some sort of wooden base to connect that to, or how they did that. Or maybe they're connected to something further in. I don't know. I haven't figured out how that works yet. And Vorchenza is the last of her clan, which means somebody else is getting the tower when she dies.
Right.
Any theories? Is Locke going to take it over and take his own tower?
I wonder if the Duke will decide who gets it, or if she can will it to somebody.
That's a good question.
I don't know. And maybe Donas Salvara is thinking she might get it, because she kind of seemed like she was interested in it.
Oh.
Like, maybe if I come have tea and visit with you, could leave me your tower?
Oh, and it makes me want to host late night teas, which are basically girls' nights in.
Yes.
So it's all for advice, and it's a womanly tradition where one would wish to seek the advice of another or vent or complain about men.
Yeah, I love it. It's just women getting together to take care of their own business.
Yeah, I really like that too. Especially because this is definitely a patriarchal society that we're in.
Yeah.
And the tiny replica of the Amberglass Tower sounds so cute. I want a chef to make me gorgeous confections.
And the chef is doing it to irritate her.
And the tea glows orange. I don't know why that sounds delicious, because it's a color and not a flavor, but
it sounds warm.
It does.
You know what I mean? And
like fire.
And like soothing, like honey, and yeah.
That makes me want to drink my cinnamon spice roboys tea right now.
It makes me want more coffee.
Your coffee, I'm tea.
Yeah.
We're different. This is when we first find out Dona Vorchenza has access, apparently, supposedly, to the Midnighters and the Spider.
You know what? I think she does. I don't think you should say supposedly. She does have access, very close access.
At what point in this chapter did you start to suspect, or was it not till that last line?
It was not until the last
Okay.
line. I thought she knew who it was.
She just knew a lot of stuff, and
Yes.
Was maybe the archivist.
Here's the dumbest thing. What I thought was like she was somebody controlling a web of stuff. However, I did not realize that she was the spider.
So you thought she was Moriarty, but not?
I thought she was like a spider. I didn't know she was the spider. I thought she was somewhere high up in this sort of web thing that was happening. And
but not M.
Right. And that's a lot like Moriarty, actually.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really think about. But yeah, it's...
One of my casting ideas was for Judi Dench, because I pictured her as M in the Bond films. But she wasn't quite right for it.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of Dana Riggs, I think. It sounds like Sophia may suspect that Vorchenza is actually the spider, or just that she...
Or that she's very close to the spider.
And not just that she...
knows how to get information to the spider. She actually is in close contact.
Has a position. Yeah.
I think that's true. But she doesn't want to come out and say it. That would not be okay. You can't identify the spider and then get away with it, I don't think.
Well, it's also one of those things where I certainly think that Vorchenza suspects that Sophia suspects.
Yeah.
I keep using her last name because it's easier to say than her first name.
Yeah.
Angiavista. It sounds very Italian. Vorchenza.
Angiavesta.
Something like that, yeah.
Vorchenza.
All these names sound Italian.
They really do.
Which, of course, makes me think more of Venice. I feel like the whole thing is just an alternate reality Venice in 1580 or something.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Sophia tells the entire story. Luckily, we don't have to relive it. We just get the first line and then...
I was grateful for that.
I feel like if this were George R.R. Martin, we would have heard the entire story from her point of view again.
Yes, we would.
With some weird little twist. But
of course.
Still, I don't need that story twice. Though it might be interesting to see what things she had picked up on or her perspective.
I think it's enough that we know that she was suspicious and then got more suspicious.
Yeah. So as soon as Sophia leaves, Vorchenza is up and out, and I just can picture her walking in her little pants and silver slippers.
I was so happy that they said that she wore pants.
Yes,
I love that.
Skirts and the big petticoats. I was glad that's what made me think of Helen Mirren right away. She has that kind of look. She summons Reynard, who I was just picturing Jason Isaacs.
Malfoy.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because he had the long blonde hair and that, and so and this guy has ice blonde hair, but he's got the broad shoulders. He looks important, but he can look very serious. Though he looked very different in the OA, which was
that was... Yeah.
That was a weird show.
Why is he always a bad guy?
I don't know.
He's always a bad guy.
He was really good at being charming, though.
He was the bad guy in The Patriot, too, remember?
So, spoiler, listeners, if you haven't watched the OA.
Oh, yeah. Well, you learn pretty early on.
Yeah, it's not very far into it.
Yeah, he's
like 20 minutes into the pilot, actually, you probably find
out.
Yeah,
it's pretty early.
Yeah, it does seem very charming. Though I feel like the whole time I was thinking...
He has to be the bad guy because look who's playing him.
What's the catch?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something here.
Definitely.
Are they in love after an hour of listening to each other talk?
They in love after an hour. This isn't a Disney movie, Nikki.
Anyway, I thought he'd be perfect.
Yeah, and I thought it was hilarious that he loves sweets so much that that's how he gets talked into doing stuff. Yeah. He just needs a little bribe of a chocolate tower or a... Was it chocolate?
I think it was pastry. No, it was made of several things that were all cakes and
so
not.
A dessert tower.
Yeah. Very delicious sweet dessert tower. And I wondered if he has a key to the solarium because he came in, and I'm assuming she locked it behind her, and she had to get in through the crossbow trap.
I'm sure he does.
So he must also have access to all of these basically files that she has. All the cubbies.
And I can't imagine there's anybody besides the two of them that does. She seems like she's really keeping it close.
And he is the head of the Midnighters. So yeah, she really does seem to be top level. Oh, and she's needed security like that crossbow trap for 30 years. So she has been doing this since she was 50. That is a really long time to hold up a double life like that.
Wait, she's 80?
Well, they said that 70 was a distant memory.
Oh, yeah.
So I imagine she must be 80.
Man, she is quick for 80.
Well, and they said it was surprising that she wasn't using a cane or holding onto someone's arm when she was coming out. What?
I just wonder if there's anything...
There's that look on your face.
that you don't usually get to see.
I know.
I'm just wondering if, since she obviously is in a position of high power, but it's secretive, if she's got a Bondsmagi every once in a while, comes in, gives her a little tune-up, some kind of magic. Because
she's actually 500 years old.
Well, to have your mind and your body still in that kind of shape at 80, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying she's got resources.
I want that. I need that tune-up right now.
Yeah.
I could use a little...
I'm not even 40 yet, and I'm like, could you just come, like, fix my back? But it's not totally out of the realm of possibility.
No, I really like that idea.
You know, at 80, you can still be in good shape and your mind be great and everything, but usually by then you're starting to sort of wear down a little bit, at least in one or the other.
Yeah, if it's not one, it's the other,
right.
Either physical or mental, and she is on top of both.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure that...
Of somebody that maybe would be more like 60.
Yeah. And
20 years is a big jump from mind and body when you're talking about getting older. Mm-hmm. So I think it could be possible that she's having a little work done.
A little mental magic work done.
Exactly.
I like this theory. I like it a lot.
Plus also, you know what they say, and I think this is accurate, is when people are aging and getting into their 70s and 80s, the less they use their brains,
right.
the more likely they are to develop Alzheimer's or dementia or all this kind of stuff. And she obviously is using her brain all the time because she's, sort of controlling this whole empire kind of a thing. And I think that probably helps a lot with her mental abilities.
I imagine that even though she has thousands upon thousands of cubbies with all these little scrolls, she knows where exactly everything in those scrolls are. She doesn't need to look.
I would believe that.
Yeah.
She doesn't need it written down. She doesn't need a card catalog.
I imagine she updates it for her records or for whoever else needs those records.
Oh, and that also makes me wonder if she has a plan in place for somebody to come behind her.
Do you think it wouldn't be Reynard?
Well, maybe, but...
So who are you thinking?
If my very loosely based theory about the Bondsmagi thing's happening, maybe she's not planning on going anywhere anytime soon. Even as she's aging.
Okay.
I mean, it could be him, but... I'd like to think that she's someone that wants another woman to take over.
Oh, that's always nice.
That's just where I'm at.
So just get Sabbatha back in town?
Or let Donas Salvara.
Ooh.
She knows that she's bright enough to at least have gotten to this point.
Well, she already suspects who the spider is.
She already knows about the garden. She already knows that she's doing well at that, Maybe she's going to pick somebody that's in a position and also smart enough. I don't know.
Would be convenient to have someone who would get a tower.
That would guarantee her getting the tower.
Maybe.
If she said, you're going to have the tower and you're taking over this. I have a feeling, though, that maybe her husband would be, I don't know if she could tell him, because he might be intimidated.
If they move into the tower, she could say that the solarium is her new workspace. And everybody's really careful in her workspace because it's very dangerous.
And she could keep on Blondie, and he could do some of the work that she doesn't want her husband to see her doing.
I like these ideas.
They're just guesses.
I don't know. So Reynard comes up, confirms that the Midnighters did not visit the Salvaras.
And he was very sure about that.
Right. Mm-hmm. And he had met them before, so he definitely knows. Then we find out Vorchenza knows about the Thorn and has been apparently trying to catch him already. Also brings up the point that she doesn't think it's a coincidence that the Thorn hasn't murdered anyone yet.
Right.
Compared with the Grey King. What do you think she means by that? That she isn't surprised. That she doesn't think it's a coincidence.
I almost want to say it has something to do with her seeing this person as a possible adversary because this person's messing with her stuff, but also that she respects.
Is that a technical way to describe that? It is. Messing with her stuff.
Yeah, he's getting in a business. But also that she maybe respects this character some because he hasn't killed anybody. Okay. I mean, he's doing what he's doing, but he's not being violent for violence sake. Mm-hmm. And these are two characters that I would like them to be friends, so I don't want her to go after him. I want them to get along. Which I don't think is going to happen.
Oh, that's nice.
I think she's mad because the Thorn has abilities that she can't control, and she's used to being able to control everything. Mm-hmm. And he just keeps slipping through the web, which I'm already worried about him with the Grey King anyway, and now he's going to have somebody else on him, and...
He's got the Kappa, the Grey King, already.
It's like this noose is getting tighter and tighter, and
now the Salvaras
just a matter of time before... Well, like she said, she's, creating this net, and he's gonna get stuck in it.
She's going to try to get him at the midsummer feast. At first, I was thinking, they're already underestimating the Thorn when she tries to count them and assumes far more people than are actually there. Mm-hmm. And then Renard jumps in. I'm like, damn it, he knows that they're pretending to be multiple people. Mm-hmm. Though none of them have yet come to the conclusion, or it hasn't occurred to them yet, that the Thorn has played more than one character in this situation. That's true. And that, I think, is an underestimation.
Yes.
Because while the other people make sense because they were masked, these men were not. I mean, they have seen his face straight on. Though she does put out feelers for the scribe they ran into, the alley to see about him, and
the temple.
And the tumble home inn as well.
I'm really worried about this trap that they're setting up because I don't know if Locke, as Lukas, will not go to this meeting. I'm worried about him not being suspicious, not seeing at all that this could be a trap, and just walking right into it.
Because he's got a lot on his mind already.
Yes, he does. Not to mention, as far as we know, he's still in a barrel full of horse pee.
Yeah, is he even alive? Is he even going to be able to come to this
meeting? How
meeting?
could you end a chapter like that and the next chapter him not even be in? What?
I know, you were really waiting. You were like, somebody's going to save him. We wanted Sabbath to come fish him out of the water.
Yeah, somebody should show up. And he's just still...
All this planning made, and we actually don't know if he's alive or not.
No idea.
That would solve their problems. Though they would still be out all that money. It sounds like she's tried to capture him before, though with only 3 jobs under their belt so far, officially,
right,
as adults. Though I doubt he had used that name at all before when it was under Father Chains.
No, I don't think so.
In his work. I wonder what happened when she tried to catch them and if the Gentleman Bastards even knew about a trap that they missed somehow.
Do they know that the spider is onto them in some way?
I wonder. They definitely believe the spider exists, like some people don't.
Right.
But yeah, do they know that the spider knows about them?
I mean, it was pretty gutsy of them to pretend to be Midnighters, but I don't think they thought that they would ever get called on it. You would have had to known that one of the Salvaras would have been suspicious enough and have access to ask.
Right.
And I don't know that they thought that that was a possibility.
And as imaginative as Locke is, I don't imagine that his vision of the spider is an elderly woman in a tower. Really, probably not the first 15 people he would consider.
It was not the first of the 15 I considered. So, no.
And then we see the spider signet ring, which leads us to believe that she is the spider. Do you think there's still a chance it's not actually her?
No.
You definitely believe it's definitely her?
I think
okay.
So. Yeah.
In the next episode, we're going to discuss the interlude, the Schoolmaster of Roses. All right, Rosanna, what was your top 3 this week?
This week, my top 3 is the top 3 times I said, uh-oh. Which I did. The first time I said, uh-oh, Sophia Saldana knows that the Midnighters that visited were imposters. Uh-oh. That's not good. Because I didn't think that she would suspect. We don't know what her reaction was to being told that, that the Midnighters showed up. So I don't know why she's suspicious, but it's set this chain of events in motion to the spider that's...
Her husband seemed to have no
dangerous.
Doubt. But I imagine that as soon as he told her, she said, "Are you sure?"
And also, how could you be? The whole point of the Midnighters is that you don't know who they are. The second time is when the Dona Vorchenza confirms that the Midnighters that visited were imposters, and then she begins to set her trap in motion. And I read that and I was like, uh-oh. And then the third time is when she gets her ring out, and I'm like, no! She's a spider! But also awesome! But also no! Those were the 3 times in this chapter that I said, uh-oh. This is not good.
So we are going to save your predictions for the interlude because it's super short this week.
Okay.
And so we're going to hold them off until you hear the next chapter titles. Now it's time for Cheek of the Week, where we talk about something we really like and want to share with each other and you. My Cheek of the Week is a type of notebook called Code and Quill Notebooks is the brand. And they're super nice journals. I originally kickstarted them when they first started up. But since then, they've come out with their own retail site, and they have sales plenty of times too. And they're super nice notebooks. They have hardcover, softcover, large, medium, small size. A lot of the notebooks have the one side of the page, the left side is a grid, and the other side is lines with teeny tiny little lines in between, so you can make it like graph paper if you want. Mm-hmm. So you can do all sorts of lovely things with them. I use them for notes, I use them for actual writing that I do, but they're really nice, and the covers of the hardbacks are so lovely. They have this pebbled kind of material. They feel very nice. I have pretty white ones. They have different colors as well. I've given them to Rosanna as a gift before.
And I love it.
Use them for your bullet journaling sometimes, I think.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, they're lovely. Anyway, I love them. And we have a code for the website for 10% off for you listeners that you can use if you go to their website, which is codeandquill.com. And if you use the coupon code somethingcheeky10, you'll get 10% off of your purchase. So you should go and get some fantastic notebooks.
I probably need another notebook. I mean, really, I
think you do.
Who couldn't always use another pretty notebook, right?
What's your cheek this week, Rosanna?
My cheek this week is something that somebody gave me as a gift.
Oh.
And then somebody's
you. Is it Code and Quill notebooks again?
No, it's not. It is a Diane Prince, aka Wonder Woman, Funko Pop doll.
Nice.
She's beautiful and amazing, and I love her. And she just showed up at work one day, out of the blue, and it was so exciting. And it was actually kind of a crappy day anyway. And so I opened up this present, and it was amazing. And now she's sitting on my desk next to my other super strong women, warrior pop dolls, Daenerys Targaryen, Natasha Romanoffsky, aka Black Widow, and who's my fourth one?
Helena.
And
from Orphan Black.
And Helena from Orphan Black.
Oh, I love her.
Who is the greatest clone of all time.
She is.
Now I have my beautiful Wonder Woman, and she's so cute. And I took a picture of her, and somebody posted on my Facebook page when I took the picture that I looked like her. And I was like, yes! My life is complete. Somebody said I look like Wonder Woman. So, and I will post a picture of the new pop doll because she's so cute. I love her so much.
She's really cute. I saw that it was available for pre-order, and I know how much you love Wonder Woman.
I love Wonder Woman.
And so I ordered it months ago.
Oh, really?
And it just happened to turn up at the exact time that you needed a Wonder Woman boost.
I did.
Yes.
Her outfit's so cute. She's got a little shield and a sword, and she's just the best.
And it's based on the movie Wonder Woman coming out.
Right, not the old show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, awesome.
And I can't remember the name of the actress that plays Wonder Woman. She was...
Gal Gadot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She played Wonder Woman in the Batman versus Superman. Mm-hmm. Is it versus Superman?
I think so.
Okay. She was my absolute favorite part of that movie. She's the best. Okay, listeners, you can find all of our Cheeks of the Week and send us your questions on our website, somethingcheekypodcast.com.
That's our episode. Please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps other people see our show. And follow us on Twitter at SomeCheek and Facebook.com/SomeCheek.
On our website, you can also find links to the other podcasts that we do, and you should check them out because they're also super cool.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
La 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 la.